Pistol formation. Handoff Ashton Jeanty, and that's going to be another Ashton Jeanty touchdown. It's going to tie the school single season record. Jeanty to the right side, breaks into the secondary. Jeanty gets to the 35, to the 40. Jeanty to the 50, to the 40, to the 30. And he's going to be knocked out of bounds around the 15-yard line. What a run for Ashton Jeanty. 60 yards, air, saves a touchdown. Nickel formation for the defense. Gulbranson in the shotgun, gets the snap, blitz closing in, he's going to be sacked. Marco Notriani with a huge sack.
It is championship week in the city of trees. Boise State takes down Oregon State 34-18 on senior day, and now it is on to the Mountain West championship game. What do you think, Shane?
A little nervous. It's going to be a big week. I don't know. Like we said before we got on here, it's going to go two ways, close game or blowout.
I'm Jay Tust. He's Shane Williams-Rhodes, former Boise State wide receiver. This is Jay Sports Bar, and I'm so excited about this matchup. I mean, I think in a perfect world, Boise State would have played Colorado State, but, the Rams had to win one big game in their history, the history of their program, and they couldn't win at Fresno. So they get bumped out of the Mountain West Championship game, and now we get the truly, not only the two best teams in the Mountain West, the two best group of 5 teams playing for a conference title. In the latest college football playoff rankings, Boise State jumps up to number 10, UNLV as at number 20, and now they will play on Friday night at Albertson Stadium for the Mountain West Conference Championship. And Shane, you've played at a Mountain West Conference Championship at Albertson Stadium. What is it like? Is it any different than a regular season game?
Yes and no. When we played against Fresno, it was our second time. We were kind of like in the same boat. Second time playing a team, played them close the first time. If we win, we get in. It was the exact same boat. So I didn't feel like, to me personally, it was different, but the implications are definitely different when you throw in what we get when we win. I
mean, you look at 2014, you guys go on that crazy winning streak after starting the season 3-2, and if you lose that, I mean, you're back at the time, I guess you're probably going back to Henderson, Nevada for the Las Vegas Bowl or something like that. Yep. You win and you go to the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, this team this year is playing for everything right now, and they're going to have to do a good job of managing those emotions. They're 11-1. They're in the driver's seat, not just to go to the college football playoff, but to earn a bye at the college football playoff. And if they can win one more game this year on the blue turf, they get to achieve all that. But the season boils down to really one game for them and achieving all these crazy goals or going back to LA like they did last year. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that this team, this season, as good as they are, could end on the exact same stage that they played on last year.
This is college football to a T. I mean, look around the country. Every week we're like, oh, this team's in, and then they lose a game they're not supposed to. I mean, if you look at the spread this week, it doesn't necessarily say we're going to win. I think it's at 3.5 now. It opened higher than that. You get 3 points being at home, so it sounds like a toss-up to me from Vegas.
Coming up on the show today, we're going to finish up and recap the Oregon State game. Again, a senior day win. I'm going to tell you why my confidence is actually growing in the Broncos to win the Mountain West Conference Championship game. Plus, some recruiting news. And I'm not talking about future Broncos. I'm talking about current Broncos. Almost half the projected starting lineup, you could say almost all of the projected starting lineup for next year is currently being legally recruited, apparently. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But let's start with the Oregon State game really quick. A senior day game. For me, I was really impressed by their performance, mainly for the reason that game meant nothing and it meant everything. It was a non-league game at the end of the year. Technically, they could have lost that game and still been in the same spot that they were this week, playing for a Mountain West title with a chance to go to the college football playoff. But Boise State, they started strong, got up 14-0, and then just kind of handled business from there.
To me, when I watch these games, I always think the key to the game for us is for Ashton to break run early. The earlier he breaks it, the more wide open the game tends to be. And so him getting loose early on was really big. Obviously, we jump out to that 14-0 lead, but, I think that, to me, is what was missing from the UNLV game last time we played him. He never broke, And so they say explosive plays in the run game are, I think, 12 yards, 12 plus. And his longest run was 16. So we aren't used to only seeing that. So if we can get some explosive runs early, like we did against Oregon State, that opens up some things for sure.
It's kind of interesting because there has already been, I don't know, some people on social media talking about how Ashton only averaged 3.9 yards per carry last matchup against UNLV. I think that's going to be different this time around. And you mentioned he didn't break any long runs last game, the 16 being the longest run. Doesn't mean he wasn't super close. I think Boise State thinks they left some stuff on the table last game against UNLV. More on that in a minute. The Oregon State game, he goes for 226, 37 carries. 37 carries in week 14, game 12.
This is for all the fans earlier in the year who saying, leave them in the game, get them the carries, get them the yards. Well, now we're in the thick of it, and they're leaving them in the game, and they're getting them the yards.
But they kind of need to at this point. Like, I know that Boise State's up 9 in the fourth quarter, but with everything they're playing for, like, that's still way too close. Like, you need Ashton Jeanty to put that thing away, and he did. And now he's over 600 rushing yards in the fourth quarter alone this season. Like, that is so far in first place for, I can only split that stat and go back to the through 2017, but there's nobody that's even close to Ashton when it comes to fourth quarter rushing yards. Whether it be the offensive line, Ashton, the way these receivers block, Dirk calling plays, this team, one of the best parts about their identity, in my opinion, is their ability to close out games. And honestly, it's on offense and defense. At San Jose State, they got the defensive stops they needed late. They got the offense they needed late. You look at Oregon State, you know, Beavers closed to within 9. What happens? Marco Notriani gets a sack that knocks the next Oregon State drive off track. Boise State gets the ball back. They go down. They get the game-deciding touchdown to give them a little more breathing room. Like, this team has finished really well in the fourth quarter. And, heck, you look at the Mountain West Conference Championship game this weekend, it might come down to that again, Shane. Like, it should be a pretty close game. It might come down to that. If Boise State can get this thing to the fourth quarter, though, based off 12 games of data, I would love their shot at finishing off the Rebels.
It's funny you say that because the sacks. So when I was watching the game, like, I don't know if you have the stat for me, maybe you do, but in the first half, I'm like, where are the sacks? We need to get them behind the chains because that's what's happening. We're not getting behind the chains until they're converting. And so second half, I know for sure the sacks started to erupt. And so I was looking for them in the first half. That's what we need. So for defense, it's the sacks early on in the game to set the tone. For offense, it's explosive runs.
I think that you look at the way that Boise State has pressured the quarterback throughout the season, it's kind of ebbed and flowed at time. Like, yeah, you would love just to rely on your front four to go get the quarterback, right? Early in the season, that wasn't always the case. And so Eric Chenander would bring numbers, right? And so now I think that he really has got a great feel of when to pedal down, when to let your foot off the gas there too. And in the second half, I brought up the Marco Notriani sack, dialed up some pressure there. Like, Jaden Virgin Morgan and Ahmed Hassanin off the edges are phenomenal. Those guys can go get after the quarterback. Heck, even Braxton Feely has over 4.5 sacks this season, right from the interior. So those guys can certainly get after the quarterback, but I think they're figuring out when to pressure the QB and bring more bodies. And they did that in the second half, and they knocked some drives from Oregon State off track, and they ultimately finished out that game. So a nice win for the Beavers. Cage Casey, the left tackle for Boise State, said that Oregon State was his dream school, right? Decided he canceled out all of his other trips after Oregon State offered him. Told everybody, hey, I'm going to my dream school. The one trip he didn't cancel was to Boise State, and the only reason he didn't cancel that trip is because he already committed to coming, right? And so he started driving out here. He's like looking through the desert, that's what he described it as. And he's like, Mom, I don't know about this. And they get into the city of trees, and he's like, whoa, hold on a minute here. Fell in love with it, committed to Boise State. And then last Friday, he got the chance to go beat his former dream school, his current dream school, the Broncos putting it on him pretty good.
Yeah, that's probably got to come around full circle, feel good, Makes you feel like you made the right decision, especially with Oregon State losing their staff, to Michigan State. So, things happen for a reason.
Yeah, things happen for a reason. Moving on here now, bring up an offensive lineman. Cage Casey is playing lights out right now. He is playing unbelievably consistent football. Talking with Tim Keene actually earlier today, he was kind of joking around like, heck, man, there's times where I almost forget to coach him because, like, I almost go back to when Kellen Moore was here. You just knew he was going to take care of his business. So, like, Pete didn't have to always, micromanage him and stuff like that, right? Cage Casey's kind of in that mode at left tackle right now. He's playing such good, consistent football that You know, Tim Keene jokes sometimes he doesn't even really have to worry about coaching them. Obviously, he coaches them, but I think you get my point there.
For sure.
On the offensive line, though, these guys are finally healthy, and I was so excited about this unit coming into the season because, you know, you have Cage Casey at left tackle, Ben Dooley at left guard, Mason Randolph at center, Roger Carrion at right guard, and then Hall Schmidt stepping in as a first-time full-time starter at right tackle. And Hall has missed, you know, some time lately. Roger and Mason are the two, though, that they've been out for a significant amount of time. Roger has been out since, you know, he was injured on the second play at Oregon. He's been out ever since the third play at Oregon. Mason tore his bicep on the 63rd play. He wears the number 63. Odd, weird, I know. On the 63rd play at Georgia Southern. They were only on the field for 70 plays that game. So they were just grinding out the clock. He hurts his bicep. Shane, I tore my bicep last summer, man. And the timeline that I was given does not jive with the timeline that Mason Randolph made it back for. I literally have no clue how he's doing this.
Yeah, you know how they always say winning fixes everything? You win games and you get into some big ones, you know, with some good stuff coming up. You find ways, for sure.
He could have just sat out the rest of the season. And I think it's remarkable that he didn't. And I asked him about it this week because he is basically, if he didn't come back, he could easily apply for a medical red shirt and get this year of eligibility back. By coming back and playing, that is now out the window. So he is sacrificing a year of eligibility so he can come back and help this team. I asked him why he decided to do that.
I'm going to be completely honest. There wasn't a lot of thought behind it. They told me there was an opportunity to come back, and I wanted to come back. I put myself into a good position, and I felt like with how special this team is, I would do anything for them. So I wanted to, no matter what, get back out there for them. It's really eye-opening, you know, kind of going out there, especially earlier in the season. We were in the dog days of fall camp, and everyone's just kind of like banged up, not feeling the greatest, and everyone's like, all right, we just got to get through today. We got to get better today. And, you know, now we're game 13 of the season, and I've only played in 2 of them. It's really eye-opening how limited and how few opportunities we really have.
So another thing that's worth pointing out about the offensive line is the fact that Roger and Mason weren't around for the first UNLV matchup. Now, guys like Tyler Kynath and Jake and Jason Steele, and especially Zach Holmes, those guys did an admirable job about filling in, right? But there's a reason that starters are starters, Shane. And honestly, somebody that pointed that out this week was Dirk Cutter. Like, guys, call it what it is. Like, they did a wonderful job. But there's a reason your starters are your starters, and Boise State gets their starters back.
For sure. It sounds like to me Christmas came early, and I think it's going to be a different run game than we saw the last time.
I agree. And that's why, you know, seeing and projecting this collision course between UNLV and Boise State for really the last month, I didn't have a lot of confidence in Colorado State holding up their end of the bargain because they just never really do. Yes, I know the Rams beat Boise State last year, okay? I get it. But that was such like a vastly different Boise State team. It's night and day.
Yeah.
That wasn't even Boise State. That was some like
we were going through something at that time.
They were going through something. Not to be too extreme here, but that was kind of a lifeless team at that point in time where they're just Spencer Danielson stepped in and saved him. He earned Coach of the Year honors, won Coach of the Year honors in the Mountain West earlier this week, and deservingly so. The Broncos are now 14-2 since he took over as the interim, including 11-1 this year. And I think they get the 12-1 this year because of the health of their offensive line. There's just something about the edge and the mentality, on top of the ability and all of that, that Roger Carrion and Mason Randolph bring to this offense. They got the will, they got the skill, and because of it, I think that this team is going to be more prepared to beat UNLV this time. And again, I have so much respect for the Rebels. Like, I have been thinking about this game for the last month, and it has made me nervous. But as we get closer and closer to kickoff, my opinion is just being reshaped a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And the best thing about this is, if I'm UNLV, I'm probably going to come into the game with the same game plan. You know, a lot of the same stuff. Obviously, you have to switch it up because Boise State's going to scheme against that. But having 2 different people on a unit of 5 changes things. That's half the line, you know. So I feel really good going into this. I've been on the fence a little bit here all week. And kind of eases my mind.
I think that it also helps that Boise State is the best player in college football. Did I say that loud enough? I think that it also helps that Boise State has the best player in college football.
Oh man, talk about an uphill battle. I don't think
I will keep pushing the rock up the hill, man. I don't really care because we get to see it every single week. Ashton Jeanty is the best player in college football.
For sure. For sure.
Everybody wants to talk about Pro Football Focus grades and stuff like that, which heck, I look at them. But they bring up, where other people rank throughout the country, and that's cool and all. You know where Ashton ranks? His run grade is 97.1, so that's cool for leading the country this season. It's also the best that we've ever seen since Pro Football Focus has been compiling this data. Sure, it only goes back to 2014. You know how old Ashton Jeanty was in 2014, though? He wasn't even double digits yet.
Like we said a long time ago, you're going to pick a side, and right now, the media has picked their side, and that's the media.
Wait, I'm media?
You picked your side.
I picked my side. Okay, all right, cool. All right, just making sure. I did pick my side.
It just seems like Travis Hunter will not play this week. But you know what? We're going to see a lot of Travis Hunter stuff.
We probably will. And heck, while we bring it up, went a little viral this week for that matter, right?
Yeah.
Spencer Danielson weighed in on the Heisman race. Is it over yet? We get his take.
Absolutely not. And I'm not going to speak a lot to the Heisman yet. That is going to be coming from me here soon. Ashton Jeanty is the best football player in the country. And for me, if you're one of the best players in the country, you play in a championship game.
The reaction has kind of been funny on social media because people have been quick to point out, hey, Jaden Daniels last year didn't play in the SEC championship game. I get it. But if anything, it's also given me the perspective of, Boise State expects to win. Boise State expects to play in their championship game. They define winning individually and as a team based off of playing for conference titles. I mean, that's what this is about. And I agree. I mean, hey, is it foolproof or bulletproof or whatever? No. But I think in this case, let's look at it this way. Colorado has 2 Heisman Trophy contenders on their roster. I don't know what Shedeur Sanders is getting slept on in this whole thing, in my opinion. He should be getting more push.
He should be no lower than 5.
Yeah. They got 2 Heisman Trophy contenders on their team.
And they're in Cancun. Cancun.
On championship weekend.
Early vacation.
Maybe not literally, but figuratively, right?
Yep.
Meanwhile, Ashton's over here just carrying Boise State to the Mountain West Conference championship game.
I think there's only one person in the race. Well, I won't say that. There's only one person of the top 2 people who meet all the criteria. And in the criteria, team success is one, how good, where your team stands, how the year went. And I think one put the team on his back and was able to get, to where they're supposed to be. And the other, with the help of another Heisman candidate, fell short to a 4-6 team. Didn't beat any ranked opponents.
Nebraska handled them pretty good.
I mean, I think Nebraska won 6 games this year. It's just I don't know. I just don't see it.
Every player that's up for the Heisman this late in the season is absolutely phenomenal. And now we're splitting hairs, and each fan base is going to talk very passionately about the guy that they rep. And I just think you look at some of the things that Ashton Jeanty's doing, and it's funny because they want to tout one of one and all this stuff, and I get it. He is, but Ashton also is. He's rushed for 2,288 rushing yards through 12 games. We go back a quarter of a century. Nobody's rushed for more yards through 12 games in a season than Ashton Jeanty. With Ashton Jeanty's next touchdown, he joins a list that only has 2 other people in it right now of over 2,000 rushing yards and 30 total touchdowns in a season. I mean, Barry Sanders is part of that group, but this is a very exclusive fraternity of people here, man. Yeah. When we talk about how he leads the NCAA in rushing yards by 628 yards. I mean, that's like a month of football.
Yeah. And the best thing
and his chance, that's the biggest gap since Barry rushed for the NCAA record, 26-28 in 1988.
It makes no sense.
Oh, man. He's either 1 of 1 or 2 of 1 where the other one, or 2 of 2 where the other one won the Heisman Trophy. I can't get over all the things that this kid has done, and he's done it in like the class and character and selflessness and humility that he carries himself with on a daily basis, and that's supposed to be a part of the Heisman criteria. Like, character is a part of that, and he's going in. He's got his own sandwich at a local company or local restaurant, right? He gets an NIL deal with them. Part of the exchange is he gets gift cards. You know what he does with those gift cards?
Gives them away.
He goes and gives them to his offensive linemen. And the only reason why I know this is because his offensive linemen brag about him. Ashton he wants like zero credit for anything that he does with the goodness out of his heart because he wants it to seem so pure. He won't talk about that. He never brings that stuff up.
Sounds like one of those Pete's OKGs, huh?
OKG.
You know, OKGs. Yeah. To me, the best part about watching this Heisman race is to watch all the NFL stars, ex-NFL stars, and Hall of Famers weigh in. Every DB, all you hear is, obviously, Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Every running back, all you hear is Ashton Jeanty. And then quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, I think I've seen about 75-25 split, and 75 of them are Ashton Jeanty. It's just crazy.
Micah Parsons, linebacker, Ashton Jeanty fan.
Yeah, it's...
You know what's funny to me, Shane, and maybe you can kind of talk about this? There's also on social media the reaction of ha ha ha, he plays in the Mountain West and things like this. I can't wait till the college football playoff is here because P4 is going to have to line it up against him. Oregon almost found out the hard way. And so at the end of the day, like, if Boise State beats UNLV, this matchup's going to happen and we're going to get to see it, right? Mm-hmm. But you almost never, and this hit me the other day, whether it be Micah Parsons or any of these NFL guys or any college guys, Robert Griffin III has had Ashton at the top of his Heisman rankings like all season long. Mm-hmm. And they never bring up his competition. They never bring up or degrade that he plays in the Mountain West Conference. Why do fans do it but former players don't?
Because they understand that there are better players in both conferences, in every conference. You have some guys that are in the Mountain West. You have guys in the ACC. You got guys in the WAC or whatever. Every conference has great players. It really doesn't matter. The guys just sometimes get overlooked. Mm-hmm. Ashton Jeanty shouldn't be at Boise State right now, right? Based on those, that argument, he should be playing in a different conference. Well, he was overlooked, so this is where he is. All he can do is line up and play ball.
Here's the hole in that conference too, right? Okay, so Ashton Jeanty's doing it here. Well, he's doing it with Boise State's unbelievable player development. We know that, but he's doing it with a bunch of 3-star recruits. Okay, so let's say that he goes to Texas. Well, he gets a 5-star offensive line. Like, wouldn't you love to run behind that too?
Yep. My biggest, argument with it is if it was so easy to do. It would have been done in a group of 5. Then every year we would have someone doing it in the group of 5. Yep. No one's done it in the group of 5 ever.
There's other numbers out there. Again, and maybe someone will argue it's only been around since 2014. Pro Football Focus does a great job of collecting this data, but it only goes back for so far. He's broken 123 tackles through 12 games. Bijan Robinson held the previous mark in this era at 105 over a full season. Ashton still has at least 2 games left, and he's already 18 past the previous record. I mean, I would say he's going to smash it, but he already has. Yards after contact, he's at almost 1,700 on the season. The previous best in a single season was a tick under 1,400. So he's already over 300 yards past that. And again, still 2 games to build upon it.
Yeah. Like they're not going to listen to that because it contradicts what they believe.
Yes.
It's tough, but at the end of the day, as a Boise State fan, all you got to say is go ask Oklahoma, TCU, and Arizona.
This is arguably, given the success of Boise State's program, I know it's wild to say things like this. This is one of the biggest weeks in the history of Boise State football. In the next 7 days, Boise State will play in a Mountain West Conference championship game against a top 20 opponent. This is the second time in the history of the Mountain West Football Championship that there has ever been a top 25 showdown. On top of that, Sunday morning, they find out their destiny for the college football playoff. That could also include a first-round bye in the college football playoff. On Monday, we learn whether or not Ashton Jeanty is a Heisman finalist, which, I mean, I don't know if he wins it, but there's zero chance he's not a finalist, right?
Yeah.
We are talking, if all of this goes Boise State's way, it is wild to say, but it is one of, if not the biggest week in Boise State football history, given everything that is on the table. I think there have been bigger games, real quick, Shane. Like, it's hard to say like Oregon, Boise State in 2009 was not a bigger game.
Yeah.
But in terms of the importance of this game, I mean, they got everything to gain, potentially a lot to lose. Say a little quieter with this game this week.
Yeah, and to me, on Monday, when those finals come out, I know they have to do, their specific number, but I think the show's even better if you just bring those two
Almost
down.
bring them two.
And that whole entire show is about those two kids, because what they've both done has just been absolutely ridiculous.
I encourage everyone out there to only pay so much attention to the betting odds that continue to circulate. I put them out there earlier in the season, and it was fun, but the more and more I kind of start to understand, it's about money moving, not necessarily about who they actually, I mean, it's part of it, yes, but a lot of it has to do with money. And I don't know if it's 100% indicative, because I think you see a lot of public support for Ashton Jeanty too, and we're only going to find out, once he gets to New York. We'll find out for certain if he's going coming up on Monday. And so with that, I can wait, but I can't wait for Friday. Friday, 6 o'clock, it's going to be epic. I think that Barry Odom's a great coach. Haj Malik Williams might not know where Boise, Idaho is on a map, apparently, according to him. He put that out there. But a good thing that there's a charter jet that's going to get him here. And that's going to be hurting. I mean, come on, that's got to be some ammo in the locker room a little bit. You're not going to put that up on a bulletin board somewhere?
Well, back in 2003, this slogan came out, and you hear everyone say it. I'm not going to say it on air, but it's the old F around and find out. And you don't know, so he's going to find out. It's coming.
Hey, I do want to talk, before I get your UNLV prediction, I do want to talk about recruiting really quick, because signing day is this week, a little quieter than years past. It could be because NILs aren't as binding anymore. There's also like 5 signing days, it seems now, when you consider when the portal opens, when it closes, signing day now, and then you have the one in February, and then you get the portal opening and closing again in the spring. So I'm actually kind of happy it's a little quieter, but Boise State does add some nice talent to their roster this week for the future. The bigger focus, though, I think in this time and age is retaining your current talent, and that could be a problem for Spencer Danielson, where earlier this week he talked about how other programs are already beginning to attack some of the talent on his roster. Take a listen.
I know for sure. I mean, there's probably I would say 13 of our players, if not more. I know for sure of 13 that are getting illegally recruited to get in the portal and get paid all this and that. That's happening. That's happening right now as we're winning games and as we're successful. I'm going to meet with our top players starting in that order on Sunday, and we're going to have our conversation about the future and what it looks like. And for me, it's not just in that one meeting, Jay, but it's hopefully from January and the whole time these guys have been here, they know that I'm a man of my word. We're going to do things the right way. We are going to develop them on and off the football field. So that's happening. I mean, no different with coaches. I'm sure there's a bunch of our coaches that are having interest to get other jobs. It's my job to make sure our entire team, players and staff, man, it is focused on what we control, which is grown men finish what they start, and we are not done. It's no different for our entire team. And I'm going to meet with those guys on Sunday.
13 guys. That means, if you look at all the seniors that will be moving on, 13 is a huge majority of the projected starters coming back for this team next year.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? And how do you think that would have affected, I mean, you look at Chris Peterson in 2013 leaves, right? He left to go to the University of Washington, But outside of assistant coaches, he didn't take a whole lot with him. He left the foundation in Boise to go on and win the 2014 Fiesta Bowl and a Mountain West Conference championship.
Yep.
Under today's rules, I think that looks a lot different. You were there. You lived it.
Yeah, Chris Peterson would have been taking about 10 guys with him, for sure. It would have been hard. And then
Williams-Rhodes?
there would have been more guys on top of that 10, but maybe not suggested guys, but there would have been guys following. He would have been doing what old Matt Rule's trying to figure out right now. How do I get down from 150 to 105?
Yeah, right.
So I honestly am glad that these rules were not in place because it worked out.
I didn't realize that until we actually just kind of were talking today, or didn't have that proper perspective. Everybody loved Pete.
Yeah.
And had that move happened at this point in time, I can't even imagine how much of the roster it would have been completely different.
Yeah, I mean,
than what it looked like.
Not a far move. I mean, some of those people might be going closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. How, even fan wise, how do you not? That guy recruited you. That guy got you there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he's capable of. He proves it. He went to UW and goes to the playoffs. I mean, you know, it's tough.
Spencer Danison's got his work cut out for him, though. He has a track record of figuring it out because Ashton Jeanty's still a Boise State football player. So we'll see if he can do it again. But that's what's going to happen now. With success, everybody's now going to target schools like Boise State, and there are just programs out there that have $20 million reserved sitting in their collectives to try to lure talent away from other schools. And I don't really want to speculate, at least at the moment, about who it might be, but if you have a lot of sacks, if you're really good at preventing sacks, you know, those are positions that you're going to have to emphasize. And as Spencer Davison said, this Sunday he's going to sit down and meet with a lot of his players. So Mountain West Championship on Friday, NCAA College Football Playoff Selection Show on Sunday, and then Ashton on Monday. And somewhere in between Sunday and Monday, he's going to sit down with a lot of those guys and talk about the future because the portal opens on Monday as well.
He's got a big week ahead of him.
A big week ahead of him. Okay, getting back to the title game, Shane, what do you got? What do you think?
What were we at, 29-24 last time?
29-24, Boise State won in Las Vegas. My whole thing, and this is my take on it, the line is about the same as it was earlier this year in Las Vegas, but the game is in Boise, Idaho. Why?
They don't know, but like I said, they're gonna find out. I'm telling you, it's 17-31. It's written.
17 UNLV, 31 Boise State.
17-31.
I like that line.
180.
180 for Ash?
180.
Is that enough? They win 17-31. Ash goes for 180 and 2-3 touchdowns. If he goes for, I'll add this too. He's at 288 right now. So if he goes for 180, that'll put him about 140 yards shy of Barry Sanders' single season school.
So we need 160
season
twice?
NCAA record.
Is that what we need right
Basically,
now?
he's 140, 170 twice. He's about 340 away from the record overall. So if he goes and gets 180, you know, he is within reach in the bowl game.
Honestly, I think he's going to go for 180, but I think you have to go for 200 because in that bowl game, you're not playing against UNLV. You're playing against an Ohio State. Yes, we can do it. We've proven that we can do it against those caliber teams, but you might want to make it a little easier on yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to run the ball. We don't have a choice. That's our identity, but I think you get as much as you can get out of them this week, as much as you can, and I don't think it's going to be like the last time. I'm hoping Vegas drops that number for him down to 120 like last time because I'll for sure take that. He's going over 120. It's coming.
It is championship week in Boise. The 10th ranked Boise State football team hosting the 20th ranked UNLV Rebels. A Mountain West Conference championship on the line. A bid to the college football playoff on the line. And of course, the Heisman Trophy potentially on the line as Ashton Jeanty tries to make one last push and prove he is the best player in college football. 6 o'clock kickoff on Friday. Our pregame show on Bronco Roundup Game Day starts live at 4 o'clock from the Blue. For Shane Williams-Rhodes, I'm Jay Tust. It's been fun, man. We'll see you down there Friday.
I might have to watch this one at home, Jay.
Ooh, a little cold?
A little cold.
Hey, I'm not going to lie, man. I mean, you probably know people that get you in, but game's sold out.
Yeah, I actually have some tickets. I'm going to probably have to give those away, but
Okay.
I'm going to get a little rowdy this week. I need to be in the comforts of my own home and watch this one. A lot of screaming at the TV this week coming.
Shane, I appreciate it. You all bundle up, get to that Mountain West Conference Championship game. We'll see you live from the Blue at 4 o'clock. For Shane Williams-Rhodes, again, I'm Jay Tust. This is Jay Sports Bar, serving the Idaho sports community.